If you could have a guide, someone to help you tell your story, give you the tools to reach your ideal customer, lead you to living your dreams and turning a profit, would you follow it? Everyone, every passion has a place in this world, and each has the potential to be unstoppable. It's time to buckle up and tune in to your personal strategist, life purpose coach and marketing maven, Lindy Chaffin Start.
Well, hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. It is a beautiful day here in the studio. The sun is shining. The leaves are debating on whether or not they're going to turn. It's, I think, officially fall in Georgia, which is a shock and a surprise. We usually go from summer to winter, but here I sit, enjoying the leaves, looking out the window, have my candles lit in my inspiration and reputation space, and I want to talk today about brand success. I'm the marketing maven, right? So let's talk about things that have to do with marketing. That's always fun. And success is one of those things. It's a combination of sort of art and science, and the ability to kind of step back and take a look at your business or your product from the outside looking in. You've got to be really smart about it, and you've got to be really authentic and very transparent. Those are things that I truly believe. You have to be sensitive to the entire world these days. We all know this. And you have to look the part, tweak your message, and check your ads like you check yourself in the mirror before a date or a job interview. Would you take home? That's what we're going to talk about today. I am Lindy Chaffin Start. I am the owner, creative director here at Unstoppable Start Studios. We are just outside of Atlanta, Georgia, and I tell you, I feel like I've been doing this forever, and times they keep it changing. Coca-Cola had it right when they started 1,000,001 years ago with a formula and the words cola. Look at where they are today. And that trademark red, you gotta love it. So here we sit in the studio, and we have exercises to do today. If you're listening, this is all just it's kind of critical to the life of your business, your brand. It's not an important aspect. It is the most important aspect outside of your product and your customer service. What you look like when you get ready to go on that date. Speaking of, have you seen that commercial? So I believe, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty certain it is a fabric softener commercial where the couple's out on the date and they sit down at the table and the guy goes, "Wow, you look really fantastic." And the girl looks at him and he's got on this really misshapen T-shirt that's sort of faded and the collar's all out of whack. And she's like, "Yeah." She wants to say you don't, but she doesn't. She's a polite girl. And it talks obviously about the fabric softener and how it has all these wonderful things, the properties in the fabric softener that keep your fabrics not only soft and static free, but also help your fibers in your fabric hold their shape. You want to hold your shape too, don't you? So let's talk for a minute about what it takes to have an amazing brand today. Cohesive brand strategy. So imagine what you're going to look like. Imagine what you're going to look like when you go on that first date. Little black dress, hair done, makeup on, heels, obviously, because you want the right parts to stick out in the right places and the other parts to cut away. You want to make a great first impression. You want your best. It's important for your business to do that too. You want your first encounter with your client and every impression after to be cohesive. That way you're building up. You're in this person's mind the same way over and over again. You're professional. You're trustworthy. This is your identity. Color comes into play. Imagery comes into play. Font choices come into play. Message. What your unique value proposition is. What your brand promise is. Your key messages. All of these things have to be consistent and targeted. So, all that said, you want to be clear in your audience, who you're trying to appeal to. You want to be clear in your purpose, and you want clear in your mission. These are all things that we think about. We might maybe have considered them for a business plan. But have we really gotten down to the nitty-gritty and done the work, written it out, had the strategy meetings, our team, with our sister, with our mom, our dad, our best friend? Have we actually worked it out? These are key elements to the life of your business, and it is a place to start. I have to apologize. If you've seen my brand sort of morph over the years, I started out with one look and then changed to another look. I wanted to get my business off the ground to begin with, and I put a lot of thought and effort into it. And I knew what I wanted to do, but as I evolved, so did my messaging, so did my appeal, and as I continue to grow, my brand evolved. There's nothing wrong with that, but I did have a sound footing when I started. So let's talk a little bit about audience, determining that audience. And again, you're going to see trends. You're going to see things change. I'll give you a personal client example. Apartment complex, we're doing some advertising, both IP targeting and a little bit of social media advertising. And the trend that we have found is that in this particular area of the country, we've targeted an audience, a broad audience, 18 to 65 and older. The majority of people who are clicking through right now are women. The largest target is 25-34. The second largest is 18 to 24. So what that tells me, after 30 days in to this campaign, is to go back and tweak the campaign slightly for the female demographic in that age group, and then push it out harder with a little bit more money so we can drive some more leads. So, again, you can go into it knowing what your audience is. It might be really broad, might be a big age group in a small geographic area with particular interests. It might be a targeted age group, say 18 to 24 for video game, for college, for the hottest new club, right? It might be that 50 plus demographic for hearing aids, right? So you have to know your target audience. Make sure you know what that is, and then and then start working out your unique value proposition and brand promise and your key messages. So here's where the worksheets are going to come in. And if you guys want a copy of the worksheet, seriously, just visit my website. It's www.unstoppablestart.com. Shoot me a quick message, and I'll send you the worksheet. So you have this in front of you. You can work out what these things are, and you can hit the ground running. I'm happy to do that for you. So the questions you want to ask yourself when you're developing these things. We're past our audience, know what that is. We want to write it down. You know sell, but write it down. What product or service are you selling? And answer that question. Is it leather handbags, custom made? Is it branding and marketing? Is it custom chocolates? Write down what the product and service you're selling, what they are. What is the end benefit of using your product or service? Well, say you create these really amazing chocolates that are hand-painted and absolutely gorgeous. What's the end benefit? Well, heck, you're going to make your girlfriends really, really happy come birthdays and Christmas, right? You're going to make clients very, very happy. We've already determined your target customer. Make sure you write that down. Got to have it in front of you. And then what makes your offering unique or different? What makes you stand out? So I'm going to go back to the custom chocolate example just for fun. What makes the chocolate stand out? Well, they're hand-painted. They are unique shapes. They come in unique packages. Be champagne bottles. They might be confetti. They might be a big happy birthday or a tiny happy birthday, or a little champagne glass that looks like it's half full of champagne and actually has bubbles in it. Seriously. Like, these things are on their own absolutely gorgeous and very unique, right? That's what makes you stand out. So once you have all this information in front of you, you can kind of work out your unique value proposition. I'm going to give you a couple of examples, companies that you'll recognize, just so you know. So this is for Evernote. It's really cleverly written. Feel organized without the effort. Evernote helps you capture and prioritize ideas, projects, and to-do lists so nothing falls through the cracks. Who doesn't need that? I do. Let's see, there's another one. Oh, Stripe is another good one. Everybody's familiar with Stripe. The new standard in online payments. Why so? Stripe is the best software platform for running an internet business. We hand billions of dollars every year for forward-thinking businesses around the world. Wow, they have billions of dollars running through their system for forward-thinking businesses like myself. Why wouldn't I want to use them? Right? So that's the kind of thing you think of in your unique value proposition. So from there, what would your brand promise be? Well, your brand promise is going to convey a very compelling benefit that we're going back to, the end benefit of using your product. It's got to be authentic. We've already talked about authenticity. It has to be credible, believable, understandable, easily translatable. And it's a promise that has to be kept every single time you do business. That's not difficult at all, is it? So, here again, I'm going to give you really good examples. Brand promises. FedEx. You can't deny FedEx, right? Your package will get there overnight, guaranteed. That is a huge statement. Did they live up to their promise? Yeah, I think any overnight package that is shipped through FedEx gets to its destination for the part overnight, guaranteed. And if they don't live up to that brand promise, I imagine they have things in place that give their customers money back or a free service if something doesn't arrive like it's supposed to. It is a guarantee. Just to and be careful with guarantees. All right, another one that's really good to me is Linda, lynda.com. I'm a subscriber. I don't know if you're a subscriber, but be a subscriber. Linda's got great classes. They're working with LinkedIn now. It's amazing. Linda's brand promise is high-quality training that's affordable and convenient. There's no lie to that. This is internet training. You can find any on-demand class that you want just about through Linda. You can do it whenever you're available to do it. You don't have to go to a classroom, and it doesn't cost you an arm and a leg. That's a serious promise right there, and they live to it every day. I'm telling you. So here we sit talking through developing these key messages, right? Key messages are a little bit more fluid. but you want to make sure you have them down. They're very, very important, and they involve what your claim is around that message or around your product or service, the facts, and then the example. So, what's your claim? Let's go back to the chocolate example. I'm going to try to think on my feet. I'm usually not very good at this. Bear with me for a minute. The claim is we have just beautifully hand-painted chocolates. That's fair. The fact, they're made from the finest chocolate. They are hand-painted by our staff right here in our shop in Texas. And they are definitely beautiful. An example. Here's our package of Happy Birthday chocolates, made from the finest chocolate, hand-painted by our staff here in Texas. Here's a picture of what they look like. There's a birthday present that's pink, and it's got gold foil around the ribbon. It's got champagne glass, champagne bottle, big happy birthday. Very pretty. Comes in a beautiful package, ready to be delivered. So what is your key message going to be using that example? Now, this is something that you're going to see in your brochure, in your ads, on your website. You're more than likely going to tinge it with SEO, custom chocolates. So what is your key message going to be around that? Give your friends the best chocolate. Enjoy the finest, delicious chocolate. Custom painted, delicious chocolate for delivery at any time. What's your key message going to be? And you don't want just one, you want many. So we've talked through that part of the branding. All right, we're going to take a break. I got information to process. I could sit here and wax on all day. Okay, everybody. So you are listening to Unstoppable with me, Lindy Chaffin Start, on Inspired Choices Network. God love them for having me. When we get back, we're going to talk more about inspired branding. Would you go home? We'll be right back.
We all wish we had a few extra hours and a few less things to do in our hurried days. By tuning into Unstoppable, hosted by life purpose coach and marketing maven Lindy Chaffin Start, you'll hear success stories of how other entrepreneurs have uncovered their passions and learned to live a balanced, purposeful life. You'll receive tips and tools to market and grow your business, wrangle the chaos, and design the life you've dreamt of. Learn how to be unstoppable by tuning in to InspiredChoicesNetwork.com every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message? The world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email becomeahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. This is Unstoppable with life purpose coach and marketing maven Lindy Chaffin Start. If you have a question about marketing your small business or finding balance as an entrepreneur, or you're just trying to get up the courage to do your own thing, let Lindy know. You can call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. Now, back to Unstoppable.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Unstoppable with little old me, Lindy Chaffin Start. And today we're talking about inspired branding and making sure you're being clear, creative, and consistent. If you have questions, pop into our chat room here at Inspired Choices Network. So let's get back to our chat. We were talking about the creative development, those strategic pieces that you need to complete in order to give your brand truly an unstoppable start. You want to make sure that you ask the questions. You want to create your unique value proposition. You want to have your brand promise in place. You want to develop your key messages. Not just one key message. There are many. So make sure you have them all in front of you. And then you can take that to a creative professional to help you develop your logo, your colors, your fonts. Give them a leg up on what you want to do. If you have somebody developing your website, this is kind of the launching space for your copy. Again, manage it with the SEO like you're supposed to. SEO is another show for another day. Goodness, we could go on for hours about that because Mother Google, let me tell you, Mother Google runs the earth, and she wants you to be following her rules. So we want to make sure that we do our SEO right. So other parts of your branding at play are being creative. Cohesive branding is the creation of unique visuals and obviously this grand messaging that stand out and represent your business. Now, I'm going to tell you, you have a business that is, say, the next massage place to go. Legs, feet, back, for girls only, for guys only, whatever. You don't want a cupcake in your logo. Just saying. But you also, if you're just a massage place and you're specifically for men, you also don't want to convey that you're this kind of like nasty place. No offense, anybody. You want to make sure you convey the right message to gain the right client. There you go. Let's talk about your logo for a minute. So, your logo is an integral aspect of cohesive branding. A symbol that represents your business and serves as a visual cue to your client, potential client, customer, when they see it. You want them to be an extension of your brand, and you want your brand to stand out. How do people accomplish this? Well, some use only fonts. Great examples of this, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. I say only font, Coca-Cola. Pepsi uses big circle, if I remember correctly. For me, mine's my big start inside of the what I call the talk. It's the talkie icon because I'm talkie. But I'm all about digital marketing and spreading the word, so I definitely want that to be a symbol that is recognizable to me. And I love the color because it's green. And what else do you do at a red light when it turns green? You start. That's what you do. So I think it's sort of universal. But you want it to be a visual cue to clients so they recognize you every time. So if they're getting on a bus, you have a bus ad. If they're driving down the road and you have a billboard, if they open the newspaper, if they see a Facebook ad, if they get an ad in their sidebar from IP targeting, they visit your website, they go to your office. You want to be standalone, recognizable. Just the font, consistency. Just the logo, consistency. Whatever your combination is. The color, consistent, beautiful, vibrant, speaks to what you're trying to do. There's a psychology of color. If you're not familiar with the psychology of color, go to Pinterest, Google it, whatever you need to do. There are charts all over the internet. It's really cool to kind of think how brands utilize color to convey a message on a subconscious level. It's really cool. So go check it out. You want your logo to be unique and engaging, obviously, clean and professional, and you want it to speak to your ideal client. I'll go back to the massage parlor example. It's a massage parlor for guys, and it's just massaging, and you want to make sure that you convey that. Sorry, I'm in a today. I'm trying to think of wonderful logo examples. Some people use their initials. I have a dear friend, girlfriend, client, and also someone that I work very closely with who uses the letters in her name as her logo. So it's first initial, last initial. Very recognizable on its own. Put her name with it, and it's her agency. This is her brand. Her colors are on fire. They're oranges and reds. And whenever I see her colors, I just think about, because she's another advertising agency, I think about advertising that's on fire. It makes me happy. It makes me think of a desert sunset that you just want to say, wow, this is great. This is what I want. So think about those things. Think about the symbology and make sure that you are not stepping on anybody's toes, not using anything that could be misconstrued as something negative or wrong, and go from there. Again, using the ideal creative professional to make it happen is highly recommended. You can get good. I mean, if you're just in it to, just start your business and kind of get off the ground and make sure that things are in place to get rolling, and then you're going to come back and rebrand later, then do what you need to do to get rolling, because you want to sit on the fence forever. It's like having babies. You're always told, if you wait until you're financially ready to have a child, you'll never have a child. Let me tell you, if you wait until you're ready to start a business, you will never start a business. Just get out and damn do it. Just do it. Because if you don't, you're going to sit there on the fence forever in that miserable just waiting to win the lottery. Start your business, whatever it takes. If that means paying somebody $25 to get a cute little logo to get you started, fabulous. But that doesn't have to be where your brand ends. And I recommend highly, as your brand evolves, to make sure that every part of your branding keeps up. So do a check-in every year. Check your logo, check your colors, check your fonts, check your messaging, check your promise. Make sure you're living up to it. Make tweaks. Make it better, make it bigger, make it more recognizable, push it out. Check in. Now, we get to a point where you do the check-ins, but you're going to know certain things are never going to change. Your logo will never change once you reach a certain point. Your colors might never change once you reach a certain point. Your messaging, it might change. It depends. Technology changes, formulas change, treatment modalities change, for all the doctors and dentists and immunologists listening. So keep that in mind as your check-in. Once you reach a certain point, you're not going to want to change certain things, but your messaging likely will need to change every time you sit down and have a strategy session with your team or your sister or your mom or your dad or your best friend. All right. Where are we in this show? I think our next thing to talk about is consistency. If you have any questions, I definitely want you to pop on into the chat room or call in and ask questions. I am happy to answer them. And as I've said before, I don't think very fast on my feet, but I will. If you need me, I will do the best I can. If I can't get back to you right here on the show, I will get to you within within a few minutes. So I'm just going to check in here. And, we've got some fun, exciting shows coming up. with websites. We're going to talk about websites and how they communicate to your clients, the importance of SEO, which I've already even mentioned in this show, and that it's not just about tags and meta tags and keywords anymore like it used to be. And then inspiring your customers through video. We're going to talk about all those things in upcoming shows. We have lots going on today, talking about your branding and your messaging and your colors and your logos. We want to make sure that the next thing we discuss is consistency. So before we break, let me ask you a couple of questions. What do you think about seeing, say, we'll just use Pepsi as an example, or Coke, either one. I don't know why I keep going to soft drinks today. I guess I need some caffeine. But what do you think about when they change their product? Say they add a new product, or maybe they change their formula. Do y'all remember when Coke changed its formula like 25 years ago? It went from Coca-Cola to Coke, and for many of us, that was not fun, especially us kids who liked it ice cold out of Paul's refrigerator that he kept in the carport. That was a long time ago. But they changed the formula, and they changed the look along with the formula. They changed did they change the font? I'm trying to remember. I know they shortened it to Coke actually on the can. And it just represented it represented a whole new product for them. It wasn't a new product. It was the same product, but it was the same product changed. Do you think it was a good idea that they changed the can? What are your thoughts? Personally, I think it was a very good idea for them to change the can. They separated the new formula from the old formula in that way. It was smart for those vendors who had stuff on the shelves that represented old versus new. It gave people a launching point if they wanted to fire back at the company for making the change. Hey, this new Coke thing, I don't like it. It was kind of an interesting study to me. People and businesses change their brands as it's necessary. You see, Coke went back to they didn't go back to the original formula, but went back close to the original formula. And they went back to the original can. And it's unmistakable. So when you walk into the store and you pick up a can of Coke, you know what you're getting, right? So it's the same thing with your brand and what's going on. So let's talk about consistency. Consistency is huge. We've asked the question.
Excuse Linda. Hi, it's Christine. It's time for our break. I just wanted to pop in and let you know I think we might have a little problem in our chat room. So whenever you're ready, we can go to break.
Thank you. That was my producer, Christine. Everyone, she's amazing. And yes, I was thinking it was. So let's go ahead and take a quick break here. I'll just talk us out real quick with you're listening to Unstoppable with me, Lindy Chaffin Start on Inspired Choices Network. I'm having a great time talking about branding with you today. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about being consistent.
We all wish we had a few extra hours and a few less things to do in our hurried days. By tuning into Unstoppable, hosted by life purpose coach and marketing maven Lindy Chaffin Start, you'll hear success stories of how other entrepreneurs have uncovered their passions and learned to live a balanced, purposeful life. You'll receive tips and tools to market and grow your business, wrangle the chaos, and design the life you've dreamt of. Learn how to be unstoppable by tuning in to InspiredChoicesNetwork.com every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Time. This is Unstoppable with life purpose coach and marketing maven, Lindy Chaffin Start. If you have a question about marketing your small business or finding balance as an entrepreneur, or you're just trying to get up the courage to do your own thing, let Lindy know. You can call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. Now, back to Unstoppable.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. You're listening to Unstoppable on Inspired Choices Network with me, Lindy Chaffin Start. I am the owner and creative director at Unstoppable Start Studios, and we've been talking about branding today. But before we go further into our conversation, I just want to invite you again to reach out to me at unstoppablestart.com. And, if you want, schedule a free half-hour consultation. Let's look your brand together, one-on-one. Take a look at your logo. Take a look at your messaging. If you have questions around any of this stuff, let's just take a look, make sure it's clear and creative and consistent like we've been talking about. I'm happy to do that with you. It's an exciting conversation to have, especially if you're like in the birthing stages of a new business. If you've got this great product and you've put it out to your friends and they are excited about it and want to see you pursue your dreams, this is the place in which you want to do this. Or if you've been doing this for a year or two and things have been good, but they're not quite like over the moon for you yet, another good time to kind of sit down and look at your brand and kind of evaluate where you are. So consider me a team member. I want to know your business. I want to be that person who's just as much management consultant as I am brand strategist, marketing maven. That's what I'm here for. I want to help. I have this knowledge. I have these tools that I use. I want to share them. I want to share all of it with people who just want to learn and kind of move forward. And if it turns out that you do need help, you want help developing a logo, you want help with your messaging, we can talk about that too. I'm not going to turn you away at the door, I promise. So, back to branding. It's been a good conversation, right, so far. We were talking when we went to break, and I apologize, there's a little kerfuffle going on in the control room, no big deal, but that's the way life goes. You kind of have to ebb and flow with things as they change, right? It's part of the whole process. So, being consistent. People are going to engage. People are definitely going to engage with your brand if they understand what you're trying to accomplish and they trust you. I will tell you, recent studies and lots of popular thinking have shown, and even in our own line of work and examples, client examples of people doing this, that it takes a number, like 7 or 8 contact with a client, potential customer, before they feel like they can trust you. 7 or 8. So think about that. I mean, you don't run into people every day on the street 7 or 8 times. So think about your sales funnel and what this looks like and how long it's actually going to take to convert that person. Are you going to be the person who is working that funnel every day, making sure the client has that message from you, consistent message over and over and over again, 7, 8 times to build the trust? Are they going to come into your store 7, 8 times, look at your goods, not those goods, look at your products, and and say, okay, so tell me today about your testimonials. Wait. Okay, no, I'm not ready yet. Let me leave. Come back in the next day. Oh, wait. Okay, so tell me what you can do for me again with this product. What's the benefit to me? No, I'm not ready yet. I'm gonna leave. Okay. See you later. 2 days later they come back. So how long have you been in business? This is the process of the funnel. This is the process of the messaging. This is the process of the brand. Get in front of those people, be consistent over and over and over again. We can talk about marketing automation down the road. This is just about being consistent. So you want to make sure when that person walks to your store to check out your products every day, you're ready for them. So your brand promise is beautiful chocolates. Beautiful, custom painted, hand painted chocolates, delicious. Pure loveliness. So what do? You have beautiful hand painted chocolates in the display case. Maybe you have a giveaway. You have a little chocolate, and up next to the little chocolate is here, have a sample of chocolate. If you would like to sign up for our text messages or email newsletters, submit your number here. And there's a brochure, a little something simple, maybe even just a rack card. Do that and make sure that person sees your branding is consistent. Have them walk out of the door and then other customers coming in. Wait, I wonder what that person's here for. Do they know this company? Like, I'm new to this company. Are they new to this company? Have they been here before? Are they a repeat customer? Testimonials are huge part of this process, part of the brand process. So if you promise that you have high quality training that's affordable and convenient like Linda, what's your testimonials going to look like? I wonder. They're going to look like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I found a great course on lynda.com. I am back over and over again because I love this course. It was easy to use, convenient, and I didn't have to pay more than $25 a month for it. I'm sold. I'll try that. I'll jump on that bandwagon, right? So if you're going to have testimonials out there, if you're going to deal with customers a certain way, and let's go ahead and drill down to your social media. If you have customers who see your personal social media as well as your business, then you want to make sure that at the very least, your messaging, obviously your personal messaging is your personal messaging, but you want to make sure that you're professional and upstanding and your opinions aren't going to go against your company's brand. Keep that in the back of your mind. We can talk about social media later. So consistency. Is the message getting across to everyone that this is more than just a logo and a website, and that your brand kind of touches everything and everyone in just about everything you do? It's a big deal. It is a very, very, very scary big deal. Not scary, like don't jump off the fence and start your business. It's big. This is big, people. You want to pay attention. So, how can you build trust with your client if you're not presenting yourself consistently? How do you do that? You don't. You want to make sure messaging matches your platform. You want to speak to demographics. If you have multiple demographics, I think I've talked about this on other shows. If you have multiple demographics you work in, you have to be sure to mess them appropriately, reach them through the appropriate mediums, and be available at the level they need you to be available. Across the generations, this is very different. Millennials do not speak the same language as traditionalists. I promise you. Traditionalists do not have as much technological knowledge as Gen X. Baby boomers worked really hard to get where they are, and don't want anybody undermining that. Don't forget it. Don't forget what got these people to where they are, and speak to them in that way. And change it up. I know I'm talking about being consistent in your branding, but I'm not talking about being consistent campaigns. Change it up. Like I said, speak each generation appropriately. Know what drives them. And say you have an ad in a newspaper, pick up the phone and say hello. If you are doing an email campaign, drop them a note card in the mail. I'm just saying change it up, shake up a little bit, get their attention. You have to do that. You can't just be like, oh, I'm sending out emails once a month and my messaging is always consistent and it's high value, but I'm not getting any more customers. Okay. Well, why is that? Are you expecting everybody to find you through this email? Are you putting yourself out on social media? Are you knocking on doors? Are you making phone calls? Are you targeting the right people? Is your IP targeting backing up what you're doing with the companies that you want to work with? Good question, right? Again, we got lots of shows to go. So there are times that you need to be consistent. Messaging, logo, colors, fonts, branding. And there are times that you need to shake it the hell up. And that just comes to reaching people, shaking up their emotions, getting them invested, and getting them in your door, getting them to pick up the phone. So in thinking around consistency, there might be times when you have to change your medium and say, change the orientation of your logo. We'll just use a logo for an example. So you have to change the orientation of something to make it work. Well, when you're in my line of work, you do one of two things. You either have a logo that translates well across all sizes, shapes, mediums, right? Or you have alternate logos, primary, secondary, alternate, if you need to use it in a different type of setting. So you might have this beautiful emblem that looks great on the website, and the font, of course, is kind of emblem. I mean, it's like an emblem. It's stretched over the top and in the bottom, semicircular. Can't necessarily use that on a business card, but on your business card, you can pull elements of the emblem out, say, as an example, just in my brain, leaves, and use the leaves on the business card with the colors, everything. You maintain the brand consistency, even though the look is slightly different. But it translates. You've captured brand elements, colors, fonts, and you're able to use it on a teeny tiny little medium, where if you would have tried to use the emblem wouldn't have been big enough to read the font around it to make it all work. So, those are my thoughts. Now, we're still consistent here. We're still being consistent. I apologize. Again, we've got the kerfuffle going on in the room, so I'm like texting back and forth with my producer. It seems we do have a question, so I'm going to do my best. If there's a way to pop in. Producer,
hi, Lindy.
My friend producer. Hello.
It's Chris. I do have a quick question. I know we don't have too much time left, but I've been seeing more and more people do what I call shock marketing, and it may be another term than that. But, you know, where they're using like extreme sexual pictures or just like nearly like outrageous pictures or outrageous videos to catch people's attention. What do you think of that, and what's that doing for your brand overall?
Well, personally, I don't like to work in that space. That's not me. And I don't know that I would honestly sign on with a business that did want to work in that space. I think using imagery that is explicit in the area, especially in the climate that we're dealing with right now, using imagery and verbiage that's sexually explicit, that's meant to stir up emotion. Careful. That's the cautionary tale here is be careful. I'll tell you what I hear from the majority of people, and I know you've seen this on social media as well, is that I am really tired of all the negativity. Mm-hmm. I'm really tired of all of this shock value. I really am tired of the media always throwing up the bad stuff and not ever talking about anything good. I want to hear something good. I want to be that person that helps sell a product or a business with the good. That's me. So that's kind of how I feel. I don't think it's necessary. I really don't. I think that there are other ways to message offerings than to get somebody's attention that way. I really do. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I'm curious what it does to somebody's brand when they use that method.
Again, they're speaking to audience, and there are those of us who are not in their target audience that just don't appreciate it. I'll raise my hand. I'm one of those. So, like I said, I would have a very hard time signing a business that wanted to use that method of of communication. Now, I mean, there's you can still be shocking and just do it differently. You can be funny. You can be emotionally engaging and just do it differently. Do it in a more positive manner. Do things that are, going to throw you under the bus. I mean, Victoria's Secret, to me, I think, uses in a great way. So, anyway, I'll go ahead and talk out here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. Friends, you're listening to Unstoppable with me, Lindy Chaffin Start on Inspired Choices Network. And when we get back, we're going to finish up our conversation about branding. Thanks.
Thank you for being Inspired Choices Network's most valuable asset and for tuning in to Unstoppable. Host Lindy Chaffin Start will return next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, and 10 a.m. Pacific Time, with more valuable tips to support you and your small business. Until then, be unstoppable.